On the outskirts of the city stands an abandoned psychiatric hospital. It has been left to rot for over 40 years. The windows are shattered, the walls are covered in mold, and the surrounding park is nothing but tangled branches and weeds. At night, only the boldest dare to enter. Teenagers whisper about shadowy figures in the corridors, about voices that echo even when the place is empty. Those who return always swear never to go back. Tonight, a group of young vloggers decide to test the legend. Armed with cameras, flashlights, and spare batteries, they push open the heavy doors. The hinges scream in protest, and a wave of cold, damp air greets them. It smells of dust, rot, and something else, faint but unmistakable: decay. They move down the main corridor. On the faded walls, old signs still hang: Ward Number 7, electroshock therapy, isolation. Their flashlight beams reveal dark stains across the floor, like ancient dried blood. Somewhere ahead, a door slams shut with a bang. They tell themselves it's only the wind, but their steps grow uneasy. Inside one of the rooms, a rusted bed frame sits with cracked leather straps dangling from it. One of the vloggers shivers as the camera captures goosebumps racing up his arms. Then, clear as a whisper, a voice brushes his ear. Don't wake them. Fear claws at them, but curiosity is stronger. They climb the stairs to the second floor, where the most dangerous patients were once kept. The door creaks open, and suddenly an old lamp flickers on in the hallway. The problem? This place hasn't had electricity in decades. One boy enters a ward. On the wall, children's drawings remain: twisted faces, eyeless figures, and strange symbols scrawled in charcoal. The camera records it all. Then, behind him, something moves. A shadow stretches across the floor, though no one is there. They split into pairs. Two head toward what used to be the operating theater, while the others wait in the corridor. Inside the theater, a metal table stands, its leather restraints stiff with age. On it lies a dusty mask, and wedged in the fabric, something small. A tooth. Before they can speak, the heavy door slams shut. Darkness swallows them whole. From the wall comes a horrible scratching, nails dragging over concrete. The camera shakes as one of them leans closer. A crack in the plaster opens, and from it a woman's voice hisses, "Go back to your bed." The others hear their friends screaming and rush to the door, but it will not budge. It feels as if something stronger than human hands is holding it closed. They pound against it, begging, until at last silence falls. Only the faint drip of water remains, or perhaps blood. When the door finally swings open, the room is empty. The table is gone. The mask is gone. The space looks different, as if it had never existed. On the ground lies a single patient's chart. On the photo attached to it is the face of one of their missing friends. Panic sets in. They know they need to leave immediately, but the hospital will not let them. Corridors twist back on themselves. Doors lead to nowhere. Stairs climb up, only to bring them down again. It is a maze that shifts while they walk. In one room, the walls are covered with the same sentence over and over. "We are still here." The words are scrawled in blood-like paint, filling every inch. The voices return, sometimes whispering, sometimes screaming, rising and falling as the camera flickers with static. Their faces distort on screen, as though someone else is wearing their skin. One of them breaks. He starts laughing hysterically, but the laughter is not his. His voice has changed, deeper, guttural. His friends grab him, but he fights them off with inhuman strength. Then, from the end of the corridor, something appears. A figure in a white coat. Its head tilts, But there is no face, only a blank mask. They stumble backward, racing down the stairs. But instead of the exit, they find themselves in the basement. Rows of rusted beds stretch into the dark, each one holding the faint shape of a body. They have entered the morgue. Glass jars line the shelves, cloudy with dust, each one holding pieces of what once were people. In the corner, someone is standing. The camera strains to focus, and then they see her. A missing girl from the city, gone for years. Her skin is pale, her dress torn, and her eyes are nothing but milky white. She opens her mouth wide and unleashes a scream so sharp it pierces bone. They flee in blind terror. But the building is alive. The hallways narrow, ceilings sink lower. The air is heavy, thick, suffocating. One of the vloggers falls, gasping for breath. His hands claw at his throat as though invisible fingers are strangling him. His eyes roll back. The others realize too late. The hospital itself is breathing. It has claimed countless lives already, and it does not plan to release them. They keep recording, desperate for proof. But the footage shows something else. Patients bound in straitjackets, sitting on the floor, rocking back and forth. Their eyes are empty, soulless. When the camera pans, the vloggers see their own faces among the patients, trapped forever. Then footsteps. Dozens of them. White-coated figures appear, moving silently down the corridor. Their heads are wrapped in bandages. They carry no instruments, no tools, only silence. They run. One reaches a heavy metal door and pushes it open. For an instant, he sees the outside world, the night sky, the city lights. Freedom. He screams for the others to follow. But in the blink of an eye, the view changes. The door is gone. Only a wall remains. Laughter erupts around them, laughter that is not human. The lights fail one by one. Only a single flashlight remains, flickering. Its trembling glow reveals shadowy figures closing in from all sides. The last survivor drops his camera to the floor. His voice cracks as he begs, pleads, screams for help. But his words are drowned by hundreds of whispering voices, rising to a deafening roar. The lens tilts sideways. Through the flicker, a face leans toward the camera. No skin, no eyes, only raw red muscle and teeth. It fills the frame. Then blackness. The recording ends. Far in the mountains, where the forest grows so thick that sunlight barely touches the ground, there lies an abandoned sanatorium. For decades it has stood in silence, hidden by mist, its windows like blind eyes staring into the trees. The locals whisper about it, but never climb the slope that leads to its gates. They say the place was cursed, that patients who entered never truly left. The building was closed after a wave of sudden, unexplained deaths in the late 1970s, but no official record tells what really happened. Tonight, 4 urban explorers set out to film what they believe is nothing more than a decayed ruin. They bring cameras, sleeping bags, and a plan to stay until dawn. As they hike through the fog, the forest grows unnaturally quiet. No wind, no birds. Only the crunch of their boots on dead leaves, and the distant trickle of water from the mountainside. When they reach the gates, iron bars stand twisted and broken, as if something forced its way out. Inside the grounds, the sanatorium looms like a corpse of stone. Ivy crawls across the facade, and shattered windows gape open. The explorers laugh nervously, trying to keep spirits high, but the sound bounces back at them strangely, as though the building itself is mocking their voices. They enter through the main hall. Dust lies thick as snow, disturbed only by their footsteps. The walls are lined with faded murals of blue skies and birds. paintings meant to calm patients. Now cracked and peeling, the birds look broken, their wings bent at unnatural angles. One of the group, a skeptic, jokes that the air smells like medicine mixed with mold. The camera captures the long corridor ahead, its floor covered in wheelchairs and gurneys, left behind as if the patients had simply vanished mid-treatment. Then, faintly, they hear the sound of coughing. It comes from deeper inside, echoing against the walls. The group freezes. Everyone knows they are supposed to be alone. Tension rises. One of them insists they leave, but the leader wants footage. They move deeper, climbing the stairs toward the upper floors. The walls here are covered in graffiti left by trespassers, names, dates, crude drawings. But among them, the camera picks up older writing scratched into the plaster. "Don't let her in." The words repeat again and again, in frantic strokes, covering entire walls. A door slams down the hallway. The group spins around, lights flashing. The corridor is empty. Yet in the distance they hear footsteps, bare feet slapping against the floor, quick, uneven. They rush into the nearest ward, whispering, holding their breath. The sound stops just outside the door. And then, 3 slow knocks. The explorers burst out, sweeping the hall with their lights. Nothing. Only peeling paint and broken glass. But the camera, when replayed, catches something they didn't see, a figure, white and thin, watching from the end of the corridor. Its head tilted, its mouth wide open in silence. The group decides to split. 2 head toward the medical records office, the others toward the roof. The office is cluttered with cabinets overturned, papers scattered like snow across the floor. Among them, one folder remains intact. Inside are death certificates, all dated the same week, all patients under the same doctor. Cause of death, respiratory failure. But written in trembling handwriting on the last page. Not disease. She came for them. Meanwhile, the pair on the roof find rusted rails and broken deck chairs. The mist swallows the view of the forest below. One of them lights a cigarette, laughing nervously. The laughter cuts off as both hear whispering rising from the fog. At first it sounds like wind, but soon it becomes clear, dozens of voices, all chanting the same word. They lean over the edge, recording. Far below, in the tree line, figures stand in rows, pale and still, staring upward. Suddenly, a scream echoes from inside the sanatorium. The 2 drop their gear and run back inside. The group reunites in chaos. One explorer claims she saw someone in a nurse's uniform walking the hallway. Her eyes black pits, her smile impossibly wide. The skeptic laughs nervously, until his flashlight beam catches something behind her. A shadow moves against the wall, but there is no body to cast it. It stretches, long fingers clawing across the plaster. They flee downward, into the basement. The air is damp, suffocating. Here, they find the boiler room, where rusted machinery still groans faintly as if alive. The pipes knock and hiss, and among the noise, one of them hears words. "Stay. Stay with us." The basement leads them to another chamber. Rows of locked rooms, isolation cells. On the walls are scratch marks, gouges deep into the brick. Some marks spell words. Cold, hungry, not alone. Inside one cell, a bed remains intact. Straps hang loose. And on the mattress, fresh indentations, as if someone is still lying there. The group stumbles back, but the skeptic, trembling now, raises his camera. Through the lens, he sees something the others cannot. Every cell is occupied. Patients in gowns strapped down, their eyes wide, mouths open in silent screams. Panic breaks them. They rush through the maze of hallways, searching for an exit. But the building twists. Corridors loop back. Doors lead to staircases that return them to the same floor. Their lights flicker, showing glimpses of nurses wheeling stretchers through the halls, silent, their faces covered in bloodied gauze. One explorer collapses, sobbing. The others drag him forward, until they find themselves back in the main hall. But it looks different, cleaner. The murals on the walls are fresh, the air filled with the smell of antiseptic. For a moment, it feels like they've stepped back in time. And then they hear it, coughing. Hundreds of voices coughing all at once, shaking the air. They run for the front doors, but the gates are sealed. Through the glass, they see nothing but endless blackness. Not the forest, not the sky, only void. Desperate, they smash at the door, but it does not crack. The void begins to pulse, as if alive. From within it, hands press outward, hundreds of them, clawing to get through. The group scatters. Two sprint toward the stairwell. One crashes into a treatment room. Inside, the walls drip with water. He slips, drops the camera, and when it steadies, a figure stands over him. A nurse's cap, a pale face, lips sewn shut with black thread. She bends slowly toward him as the others scream his name. Another explorer collapses in the corridor. His chest heaves as if drowning, though no water is there. His friends lift him, but his eyes roll back, his lips part, and smoke spills from his mouth. Whispering rides the smoke, the same word over and over. Breathe. He convulses once and goes still. The survivors drag themselves upward, finding a ward filled with broken windows. For a brief moment, moonlight shines in. They see the forest outside. They see freedom. They smash the last pane of glass and climb through. But when they land, their feet hit tile, not earth. They are back inside. The sanatorium does not let them go. Exhausted, they collapse in the central hall. The murals now shine bright as though newly painted, the air warm with the smell of medicine. A voice echoes overhead, calm and professional. Visiting hours are over. Figures emerge from every hallway. Patients, nurses, doctors, all pale, all silent. The explorers scream, but their voices vanish into the void. One drops his camera, and the lens captures the last image, the nurse with sewn lips, standing inches away. She raises one finger to her mouth. The whisper is deafening. Shh. The screen goes dark.